each day. Be kind, be mindful of every word you say. Be kind today.
Mark chapter 6. Jesus left there and went to his hometown accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were amazed. "Where did this man get these things?" they asked. "What's this wisdom that has been given him? What are these remarkable miracles he's performing? Isn't this the carpenter? Isn't this Mary's son and the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor, except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home." He couldn't do any miracles there, except lay hands on a few people who were ill and heal them. He was amazed at their lack of faith. Then Jesus went around teaching from village to village.
Hello everybody, and welcome to our second Bible study on the book of St. Mark. And as last week, here we are at Charles Street again, and it's just me and Richard in socially distanced good form. So if there's any kind of echoing, it really can't be helped, folks, but there's just me and Richard here. I just want to start off with a question. Do we value those people that God has placed in our lives, particularly those who share their lives and their gifts with us within our church family? As Christians, we acknowledge chance and coincidence, but we also recognize the guiding hand of God in our lives and in the life of our church fellowship. And I don't believe that it's chance or coincidence that we have all been called to worship at Charles Street at this particular time. God has called us and chosen us to be a church family. Now, that might seem a bit of a curious place to start when we're looking at a Bible study from St. Mark, but hopefully you'll catch my drift. Because the section of St. Mark that we are looking at today concerns Jesus going home. And going home for most of us is a pleasurable experience. It's where we feel comfortable, surrounded by our loved ones and the possessions that we recognize and that we value. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever been away from home, maybe for a holiday or maybe in hospital or working away from home, returning home is often something that we look forward to. And yet I remember years ago when I was a student at university, returning home for Christmas was always very special. And there's lots of sayings and proverbs about home. I'm sure you know the one about east is east, west is west, but home is best. Or home, sweet home. Or how about this one? A house is made of walls and beams. A home is built with love and dreams. But not so for Jesus in Mark chapter 6. And we just need to contextualize for a moment or two. He's been around and about, but now he's going back to Nazareth. And Nazareth is a one-horse town. At this point in its history, it's got a population of only about 2,000 people. It's geographically very isolated, well off the beaten track, and really of very little importance. So, I guess it would be one of those places where everybody knows everybody else. And of course, the chances are that many of them would be related to one another. So there we have it. Jesus arrives in town. And he must have caused really quite a stir with his band of followers and his growing reputation. Now remember, last time we had the Bible study, he has just raised a 12-year-old girl from the dead. And goodness me, that's some introduction. That's some reputation. And we read that he begins to teach in the synagogue, and it says that everyone who heard him was amazed at his knowledge, his insight, and his ability to interpret the scriptures. After all, in their eyes, he was absolutely nothing special. On the contrary, he was no more than a lad from the village with very humble origins. Far as they know, he's uneducated, he's ignorant, he's easily dismissed. Who does this guy think he is? And yet they stand there in their amazement, and in their minds and in their mouths, they begin to name his entire family and condescendingly refer to him as being nothing more than a carpenter. And the language says that they were scandalized. They were offended by him, and the whole village was in uproar, and they throw him out. And what can we say? What a shame. What a missed opportunity. How sad. The problem in part was that they knew him too well. They knew everything about him. His schooling, his history, his background, his family. And they couldn't get their heads around the fact that God might actually be able to use someone they were so familiar with. And spare a thought for Jesus. I wonder what he was feeling, rejected by the very people he had grown up with. The other day I was reviewing the events of the last 12 months or so with a group of students and trying to make sense of it. And it's all been a bit crazy, hasn't it? COVID, Dominic Cummings and all the rest of them. Black Lives Matter, toppling of statues and the scrutiny of history. Concerns regarding access to vaccinations for us, but also for folks who live outside of the Western world. Brexit and Northern Ireland, climate change, and so we could go on. It's been crackers. But one of the recurring messages that we've had broadcast to us time after time is the need to be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. And as a church, as we emerge from hibernation, hopefully real soon, let us make a conscious effort to be kind to one another and to value the contributions made to our fellowship. And I know that you do, and this is not a criticism. Far from it. We are a church family that encourages and nurtures and loves and shows our loves in so many ways. And many lives have been touched, and many people have flourished in this place. So Charles Street, do keep it up. Be kind, stay safe, and above all, keep going.
Let us build a house where love can dwell and all can safely live. A place where saints and children tell how hearts learn to forgive. Built of hopes and dreams and visions, rock of faith and vault of grace. Here the love of Christ shall end divisions. All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. us build a house where hands will reach beyond the wood and stone, to heal and strengthen, serve and teach, and live the word they know. Here the outcast and the stranger bears the image of God's face. Let us pray an